Okay, here's video lecture number 2 for Comp 2. The first thing I want to say is that it feels super awkward doing this, but I guess we'll get used to it. It's hard when I can't see you guys, so I don't know. It's like I'm speaking to the void. Couple things on where we're going. No minor paper this week. I've been swamped trying to get all of you guys' MLK papers graded, which I have done. And I have written a lot of comments and suggestions on them. Please pay attention to those when you're doing your revision. So I set a revision up. The due date for the revision is Monday after next, which is the 12th, I believe. Let me make absolutely sure of that. No, the 13th. So that will be when the revision paper is due. So make sure you make those corrections. The main thing, there's a few things I want to focus on, but one of the main things is I have shown you how to do the in-text citations for the Martin Luther King essay that we found online that came with the question prompt. So there's how to do that. And it's illustrated this in my sample paper. So if you have any doubts about anything, the sample paper is where to go. I've tried to take care of everything you guys might run into in that sample paper. So take a look at it, and hopefully that will answer your questions. A couple other issues that I found that are pretty prevalent in these papers. Watch out for the line spacing again, especially in the title and in your identification information. We're still having a lot of instances with too many spaces in there, so it's not all double spaced. And also in your works cited page, there are some places which I'm fine with. Look, if you cut and paste something out of one of the citation helper websites, you're welcome to do that, but make sure you make it look like the rest of your paper. So I do see some instances where it looks like some of these have been copied and pasted in, and then the line spacing hasn't been changed, the font hasn't been changed. Those are kind of little sloppy errors that add up. What else? There were a lot of instances where we had block quotes that were not indented 2 tabs or only indented once. Once again, look at my sample paper. It should show you how to do that. I did make note of that where I found it. And in many instances, there were block quotes that were too lengthy. And I did show you how to do that as well in the sample paper. Use an ellipsis, use those 3 dots to show the reader that you've taken something out of the middle of this long quote. We have to be careful of this, especially in the future, because an overlong block quote can actually tiptoe over into the area of academic misconduct. If a professor thinks that you have lengthened that block quote in order to pad the length of your paper, you could get in deep trouble for that, and I want to avoid that in the future for you. So just take a look at that. As far as correcting the citations for when you quote from Letter from Birmingham Jail, the proper way to do that is to cite it as though it was a physical magazine article that you're holding in your hands, except you let the reader know in your works cited page entry that this is found on online on the internet. And I've done that in my sample paper. I've shown exactly what that should look like. That said, because a PDF file is more or less just a photocopy, if you will, of the original document, or it's like that, there are page numbers. And so when you're doing in-text citations, if you have an author and you've used that author's name, especially in your opening paragraph, right, repeatedly, there's no doubt whatsoever that we're quoting from Martin Luther King because of the sentences that come before the quote. What we do still need to do, though, in the in-text citation is put the page number. You always use a page number when a page number is available, because that helps the reader know exactly where to go. And so I've reflected that in the sample paper. I went back and revised my own paper to correct that error. And so that's what we have going forward. Once again, keep up with the course announcements, because if I make changes or add things or take things out, that's where I will give you that information first. So everybody, get on those revisions, and we'll have another minor paper due probably at the end of next week. I'm just kind of playing this by ear. Um, and so, just kind of keep up with that. And that's that. I will keep uh, hoping everybody stays safe and stays healthy.